Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, August 4th, 2025. We have a really nice rally, and as the next squeeze started, dip over with, are we going to 7,000? If you give the video a thumbs up, helps out the channel a lot. If you like the content, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. We talked about this on Friday. We said there was probably a good opportunity on the long side going into early this week. And it said really the only question was, do they just gap us up with a taco trade? Or do they gap us down, without the taco trade? And, it's 6150 comes into play here with the 50 MA. I said it's probably more likely that we'd gap up. We did take a little small SPXL position with the trading room into the close Friday at 175 and got a nice runner off on that right now, and that's acting well. I know it was one of those free money Mondays for us, and nice little bounce there. Good move for the bulls. I talked about first thing in the morning this morning with members, and I said watching the 6300 handle on ES, right? So that was right here, 6300 to 6310. Said, a reclaim of that would give the bulls clearance to go up and try and test the breakdown, and that is kind of what we did. I also was a little surprised at the strength. We had, I tweeted about 6,300 on SPX, not ES, a little different. But I tweeted about that, and I said that's going to be a little bit tough to get through, and it wasn't that hard. It just went right through it. Usually, and there was two big gamma levels we were watching today. If you watched the short video this morning, you know what I'm talking about. I said 630 and 6,300. And you can see we were pinned there on SPY all day long till the end of the day. So I was kind of in the camp that we'd see something more of like exactly what we saw, but maybe like a slight afternoon fade. Nothing major, but just something to like walk us back towards 6,300. But no, bulls are strong. Both of those short calls got blown out, and they paid out today. So bulls held up pretty well. And it was led by the Dow. Well, not so much percentage-wise, but the Dow closed its gap first, and the Russell closed its gap before the Nasdaq and the S&P. So spiders still technically haven't closed the gap. The Qs are still just off. So look at that. Everybody wants to crap on the Russell, and it hasn't worked out for me on the long side all that much. Granted, it's not like it hasn't gone down that much either. But I just retested this area here on the weekly, and again, a lot of shorts still in this, but it was a little bit of a red flag that didn't rally on Friday with that rate cut stuff. But again, bouncing here, and all of a sudden it's just right back to where it was, and now it just looks like a back test on the RTY IWM as well. The big question is, so let's skip all the BS here. Big question is was that the dip? I don't see anything that says that the dip's over yet. I think it's actually just getting started. But I talked about this before. Several times we've seen these engulfing reversals. They don't just go straight down, right? Why? Because a lot of people, they see that, they all get short, and they short into the hole after a gap down. We never broke 6,200. We never really broke more than one standard div on the 20 MA. So, that's not really doing chart damage. 620 SPY on Friday was closed above, so no real chart damage here. But you can see when we get these engulfing candles, we do get pretty convincing bounces. And sometimes, oops, I'm going to zoom out. Sometimes they can even, make a new high. And one thing I'll be watching for is, do the Qs make a new high? Because if they don't, that's a big red flag to me. So those are things I'll be watching for. Definitely can't ignore the weekly volume as well. And you guys might be surprised here. I've been on Team Bull for a long time. I haven't been trying to call any tops for a long time, and the only time we got cautious was right here. Bailed on everything. Did not go short, but still avoided a catastrophe. But this is on the whole way up here, with the exception of here, we were looking for a little dip, which we got. I do think that this is still got top potential to it. So no, I'm not calling for 7,000 here, but a lot of people are, and that does make me a little you know, a little cautious here. So we'll see if this continues. We got Palantir reporting at 167, so nice pop for that. Yeah, IGV up about $1. Yep, so it closed. Oh, no, not. Well, that's just widespread. IGV's not super liquid, unfortunately, so it's not really getting popped much. But Palantir is. Let's see how Microsoft is. Not really anything going on there. Okay. But Palantir, nice pop. That's all-time high. So Palantir earnings out of the way here. Amazon was a little disappointing. We'll see. I think 210 holds. Apple, kind of a dead cat bounce there today. And, you know, we had some other stocks, you know, Google. We talked about Broadcom and NVIDIA, no chart damage on Friday, and those went right back up. Microsoft right back up, too. These are still pretty top-heavy, though, in my opinion. So I still think that, you know, we could even make a new high here, but there's still a lot of quarterly calls up here at 6,400 that I think will get defended. So, yeah, I like this long for a bounce, but I'm not ready to get on full bull here just yet. So that's really the verdict right now from me. Triple Qs again up 1.85%. Spiders finished up 1.5%. Dow up 1.4%. Russell up 2.25%. So very nice move for the Russell. Again, this is what I kept saying. Like this structurally, I know everybody was like trying to clown me for like saying the Russell's risk reward is good. It's good. The risk reward is good for the Russell based on positioning. That doesn't mean it has to go up. It just means that if I had to pick something to be long, I would pick this. And you can see all this did was just back test and bounce. So this might just be a liquidity grab before it runs to 230. We'll see. Remains to be seen. I have a small position in it. It's not really that big a deal to me. SMH up 2.2. SOX was up 1.75. I noticed some of the other semis not named NVIDIA and Broadcom did pretty well today. Yeah, AMD, I noticed KLA was up, 3 1/3 basically. So, yeah, IGV up nicely. Palantir obviously will pop that tomorrow. Dow Transport's getting a bounce. Up 1% here. Bond yields down again. So we'll go to the daily here. And I got a billion lines on that chart, but yeah, this to me signals cuts are coming in September, whether Powell is political or not, unless this changes. 5s, 10s, and 30s. Did an article on that on the website here under Market Insights. It's a 5-minute read if you want to check it out. So anyway, before I lose my spot here, you guys want to watch some YouTube videos? But anyway, 30s down on the 2s, 10s, 5s, 30s, yields down across the board. Getting distracted here, but yeah. So yields down. Continuing with that theme, TLT 87 this week is an interesting spot if it gets there. XHB up 1.74%, VNQ, IYR, and XLRE all up about 1% a piece. XLF bouncing as well, up 2. JPM had a nice day here. KRE also bouncing up 1.4. So it's trying to hold up. Broker dealers here bouncing just off all-time highs. Oil took a little bit of a spill, no pun intended, down $1.20. Still has room for higher lows. XLE was not that great, but it is holding this little wedge here. XOP managed to claw out again, and so did OIH. So little bounces there. I noticed, well, before you to the dollar, I noticed XLU ripped. So I think it's like in those bonds. XLP up a little bit too. This has been in a tight range though. Everybody's favorite healthcare up 1.5. But yeah, dollar index, I'm still dealing with the 100 handle rejection. It still has room here though to firm up. Again, gold turned around like we talked about. Yeah, that looks good. Actually, we called the high of the day out in the trading room. It said GLD ain't going through 312, and that was the high of the day. I don't know about tomorrow, but for today, that's where it's at. But that was a nice. I know some members bought this Friday morning before NFP on a proprietary setup we had there, and it did pretty well. I didn't get it, but a lot of people did. Silver here holding the 50 MA, nice bounce. Palantir, Platinum. They should rename themselves Palantir. They'll go higher. But Platinum and Palladium here, again, same kind of deal. Nice hammers there on Palladium. Buyers stepping up, defending 1200. Copper with bounce here. This needs to get going. Otherwise, I'm going to cut my runner because, I mean, look at the volatility here. Usually when you see this type of volatility, you get a big, like, proportionate bounce quickly. And again, this is copper. It's not like, you know, it's not like some like mid-cap company that nobody's ever heard of, you know, like this is copper. It's very important, right? It's a huge market cap. So it should be reacting and it's not. But sometimes the futures market does that. Like I was just saying earlier, the last day of the roll on the, I think the N contract was the 29th. Look what happened the next day, right? So sometimes they pin these things into these expiries and then the move will happen. So I don't know. Anyway, Bitcoin here up a third of a percent. So they got bailed out. 50 MA holding. ETH up 5. So crypto is still hanging in there and it's still holding on for now. But anyway, that's it here. Yeah, market held up well, bounce as expected, 6,200 holding, reclaiming all the moving averages, trend is up, no problems, but signs of distribution are there on the daily and weekly across the board, so be careful. I wouldn't get too bullish just yet. So anyways, guys, I will wrap it up here. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.